Hickok 45 here, standing here in the wind's picking up a little bit. Hope it doesn't blow my toys away. So what do you see on the table? Well, you see a couple of old firearms. Got a G98 there, Gewehr 98, and we have a Gewehr 88 here. Okay, new acquisition. John got it for me for Father's Day. You might have seen it in the Shooting the Breeze vlog here I did recently. So we're going to take a look at them. Brass or wood, you know, is good for that. Looks like that's lined up. There you go. So we'll get him back together, see if it'll fire. So yeah, the G88 was kind of the first go at the smokeless round, smaller diameter bullet. Before that it was black powder in what, 11 millimeter I think, big rounds and black powder. And the smaller bullets did not work so well with black powder. They clogged up a lot more easily even than the large bullets. So I don't know, it just didn't work out so well. So this was a time of period, you know, we're talking about the 1880s, and then of course the 1890s, where smokeless powder took over. Okay, whether you're talking about old West guns or you know, military bolt guns, just whatever it is, that was kind of the turning point. Now even the early smokeless powder was not quite like what we have today, but it was a far cry from black powder and all the crud. And we call it smokeless. It's not the fact that there was less smoke that makes it so much better. You get less crud. You know, it just doesn't crud up the barrel and everything. That's the big thing. I guess we'll put this cleaning rod back in there. Yeah, seems to screw in just fine. This is an old gun. This was made in 1890, and the metals weren't quite what they were even 10 years later, you know, for the G98 there and everything. That's kind of the improvement of this, you could say. So you're advised on these, even though they were converted, and this one was converted, it's got the S on the receiver, so that means you can fire, at least the throat's been worked on, the barrel's probably been reamed, and the throat's been widened for the newer ammo. However, you're still talking about a really old one, and you're advised to just shoot commercial ammo in it, not the surplus. So that's what I'm going to do, because I don't have to shoot this thing a lot, you know, just occasionally, and that works out great. As I understand, it's best for this old to shoot the bullets that are .321 diameter, because they some of them, the hotter rounds and newer rounds, back as they made advancements on the bullet and cartridge, were what was it, well, they're like 2,000ths bigger, okay, 2,000ths I think, and so that puts more pressure on it, okay, in addition to a hotter round other ways. So with this, it's .321 as I understand, and so, you know, that's just a better all-around choice. Now before I load it, let me show you, this one has been converted. The originals, when they first made these, they took an in-block clip like this, and you would just shove it down in there and load it kind of like a Garand, and then when it was empty, it would come out the bottom, and this clip here has been added. Okay, so there's a hole there, and that would fall out. Now this is a reproduction in-block clip, and it's really a little big, so I may get an original sometime and to see how it fits. And I guess you could still use it even though it's been no, actually I don't think you can, because you see what they did, so that it would take the stripper clips like the G98 and the K98 and all those. They added these pieces of metal here onto the receiver. See, it's been riveted on there, brazed on both sides, and they cut that slot in it. So you've got this ability. When this gun was made originally in 1890, it did not have those two pieces right there. All right, and you had to use the in-block clip or make it a single shot. So that was a conversion that, as I understand, I think almost all of them went through in about in the 1890s, and certainly in the early 1900s. They grabbed, because they made a ton of these things, and so they wanted to convert them, and they needed them for World War I. All right. They lent a bunch of them to Turkey, and that's why you see some Turkish markings on this one, because it was apparently one that went to Turkey. All right, let's see if it'll shoot. And you know what? I'm going to put one on the new gong first, right off. So if you're worried about the gong not ringing, how's that? Pretty nice ring. Let's try something a little harder, like the middle red plate. Boom. Feels good. Try the left red plate. Wow. We have one left. We might as well try that really small plate. I knew I was off. Trying to beat the rain, right? I put all this on the table, uglied up our table, so that I wouldn't get oil on our hide. Okay, I'm going to move it now. I don't like it. It's ugly. It really is. Okay. So now that's better. Now we're in business. All right. Probably won't need screwdrivers. So yeah, there it is in all of its splendor. 1890. It's been around a while. And again, I believe that's pronounced Loewe, where it was made. That was one of the commercial manufacturers in Germany. And I forget what the other one was, but there were like 3 or 4 state manufacturers, Amberg, Spandau, and some others. And but there were a lot of them made. They weren't quite a G98, of course, but you can see the ancestry there, can't you? And now Paul Mauser did not design that, even though elements of his earlier bolts are used here. This is not a Mauser. It's chambered in the 8mm, and you know it fires the 8mm Mauser rounds, we call it. But this was a commission rifle, Commission 88. It's called really, or G88, Gewehr 88. All right. It was in the 90s, you know, when we got into Mauser's perfected bolt that ended up in the G98, is where all of a sudden Paul Mauser or the Mauser brothers are considered for sainthood, right, when it comes to a bolt action rifle. So this one has, I think, a dual lockup up front. You know, there were some of the Mauser, features there. It doesn't have the rear lockup, I don't think, like the others do, but it's a pretty nice action. And this one's smooth, I have to say, maybe partly because of the age. And you can see the lifter down there, the spring. Okay, I get a little trouble sometimes on the last round with it. And the bolt comes out. I think I showed you push that. So you see how it varies from the later Mauser actions. Pretty nice gun. It feels good, and again, it looks like a Mannlicher, doesn't it, with that style. A lot of it's borrowed from that, from the Mannlicher. But as I was saying, the Germans really need to do something to compete with the Lebel, because they're shooting big old black powder rounds, and France has a firearm equivalent to this almost. And I've never fired one of those, the Lebel, but it's an 8mm, and it's a repeater, and it's smokeless powder. So that takes you to a new level. It definitely does. So let's shoot it again. It's nice that it takes these clips. I'm glad this one was converted, actually, because it seems to work pretty well. Good shooter. Let's put 1 or 2 on this target, and then let's take out something. Oop. I don't know what I did there. That was my pocket. All right, we got to do a little pot smoking before it gets wet. There's another one. Yeah, get the pot smoking over with early. Let's take out a 2-liter here too while we're thinking about it. Oh yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm having a little trouble, mainly because I'm uncoordinated. Let me take those out of there. You can load without the stripper clips, of course. Yeah, I'll say of course, like I know what I'm doing, right? There we go. All right, 2-liter. 8mm Mauser. You know what? It's kind of awkward to watch what it's doing with it. It's an old rifle, definitely old. Yeah. I got one more round. I'm gonna go on the. I'm gonna try that little red plate again. I knew I could hit it. And I've not done anything to the sights. They're just on. Isn't that neat? I mean, the wear and everything. It's just a good looking gun. Like I say, this one apparently ended up in Turkey at some point. And I don't know whether the Germans did the modification. If you see the S again on the receiver like that, that means it's been converted and throated and everything. The chamber extended and reamed for the newer ammo. And then of course this too, everything so that it would handle the newer cartridges. But then again, you really don't want to put hot rounds in it, okay? It's just better to shoot standard. Commercial ammo is what I have read you're advised to shoot in this thing, okay? Just commercial ammo of basically any modern brand, because they load it to where these firearms will handle that pretty well. You still might want to get them checked out. I'm not going to shoot this thing extensively. It's just neat that it does work and shoots well, and the sights are right on. One way I know, you can see some of the markings, the Turkish symbols here, and then on the sight, you've got, I think, Arabic lettering on the sight. Get 22 Plankster to read that to me. I'm not sure what that says on the sight there. My guess is it's numbers of some sort, you think? So, pretty neat thing. The 95, I don't know, I guess probably a unit or number for the rifle or something like that. So I didn't see anything about that. So I was doing my research on this thing. But boy, it has character. I'll tell you, I need to shoot it again. Sorry. You don't mind, do you? Okay. I haven't uncovered any, try to save these clips. I haven't uncovered any major problems. Occasionally, you know, it'll want to hang up a little bit. Let's hit that cinder block. Yeah. 8mm. How about a bowling pin? Yeehaw. 8mm is a nice round. How about this Kentucky 2-liter? Oh, one more round. I keep thinking I'm empty. How about a red? How about the gong again? What the heck? Boom. Yeah, that's one reason we got the AR-500 gong, so we can, you know, not have to hesitate so much. Because sometimes I'm just in the mood to shoot something big with this thing. So, pretty neat. Again, that barrel shroud kind of free floats it. Makes it look like it has a big barrel, doesn't it? Looks like a muzzle loader or something. But, you know, it's just to protect it and to provide the free float feature there. But was really considered to not to be the best idea. Where it gets dirt in there, water in there, and a little bit moisture, and ends up having a rusty barrel. And this one has some rust on it. Of course, one this old, it's going to have rust, right? So these make interesting study. I know just enough to be dangerous, as you can tell. You know, this again, 88. I think they weren't really into big production until about 89 or 90. This was made in 1890. And then in the 1890s, they improved the round, the 8mm round, went through one transition there. And then I think in 1903 or 5, they went to this Spitzer bullet, and then again converted the guns and upgraded them. So most of them would handle that and also take the clips. And then a lot of these were lent to Turkey during World War I in 1916, 1917. A lot of them went up there. And I did read too that most of the ones you see in this country were those that went to Turkey. I don't know if that's true or not, but because I haven't really noticed that many of them. At least they've not been on my radar necessarily. But pretty cool Father's Day present, huh? You know, a firearm like this. That I remember when I was doing some research on the G98 before we did the first video on that rifle, you know, reading about the G88, you know, and what was going on in Germany and how they were relying on the 71, 84, whatever, and the black powder gun, and then Mausers got involved with building guns for and doing designing guns for, was it Turkey, Belgium, not Turkey, Belgium, and somewhere anyway. So Germany was kind of doing their own thing there, and with the commission and designing their own gun. I remember reading about all that, and this was the gun that you know, they came up with. which, you know, wasn't all that bad. Wasn't that bad at all. I think when you compare it with the G98, of course, it really doesn't shine very well, does it? Because the G98 is a masterpiece. It's like the K98, but still, this thing you know, got the job done. It was used in so many various conflicts and wars for a long time, and even after the G98 was out there, as you can imagine, and it's kind of the story with any firearm, it was still used by certain divisions and certain applications, purposes where they didn't have enough firearms, didn't have enough of the G98s. Just like the G98 was used even after the K98 came out. You know, you always need more firearms than you can get your hands on in those desperate, you know, situations. So it went on to serve in various capacities for a long time, even beyond World War I. If you need guns, it's a gun, you know. It's a bolt gun, and it would do. I kind of like the thing. It's a different design. Again, that Mannlicher look there is kind of neat. Mannlicher style magazine and everything, and it feels good. The big old barrel shroud is not heavy, so it's not a light gun, but it doesn't necessarily take away that much from it. So, and again, with the sights down all the way like that, I'm just taking a fine bead on the red plates or whatever I want to hit over there, and it seems to be right on. So that's always kind of nice, where because a lot of rifles will shoot high, you know, when you're only at like 80 yards or 70 yards. That's pretty cool. So I don't know what else I can tell you about it. Probably don't know anything else that I'd be getting into lies and wild stories if I told you too much more. But anyway, 88, and kind of named after the year, right? 1888. This goes back a ways. John and I were talking before the video. I've got a Colt that was made in 1887 and 1884, and you know, you're really talking about the same time period right there. Those are black powder, you know, revolvers, and you really think of that being the Old West days, and you know, same time period, really. A transition from black powder into smokeless, and this is a good illustration of that transition right here, and smaller bullets. And then very quickly developed a Spitzer bullet, which is more effective, and you know, hadn't really changed that much, you know, in the 100 years afterwards. So pretty effective round, pretty effective sized bullet, as armies and hunters and shooters have come to learn. You know, something in that 30 plus caliber range, or sub 30 caliber, whatever. So the Gewehr 88, pretty neat rifle. I'm glad to have one, and I will cherish it. And I will bring it out and fire it every now and then, whether you all are around or not, because you're not always here. Thank goodness. Life is good.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm sure if you didn't, we'll be hearing from you. But while you're here, I want to make sure you guys are aware of SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. They are a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can get certified in gunsmithing with hands-on experience, and also an associate's degree in firearms technology. And they are very accepting of GI Bill too. They work a lot with veterans. So go over to sdi.edu and check them out, see if that's something that you're interested in. And also, while you're going out on the interwebs and looking at things like that, don't forget the Hickok 45 Facebook if you're a Facebook kind of guy. Check that out, Hickok 45 Facebook. Also, the real Hickok 45 on Instagram, and Hickok 45 on Twitter. Don't forget to check that out. And also, we have a website now, hickok45.com. Try to keep it simple for you guys, and especially those of you in Kentucky, www.hickok45.com. You can go over there and find out about all kinds of different things that we're doing. We've got links to the people that support our channel. We've got links to our store. We have merchandise, t-shirts and hats and different things over there if you want to check that out. So go to hickok45.com. Most of everything is over there. Also, if you want to see some other content that you can't find on this specific channel, you can go to the Hickok 45 and Son YouTube channel, where that's, you know, mostly me doing stuff over there, and Dad makes an occasional appearance over there. And also, I have a Facebook, John Hickok on Facebook. You can also find the link to that in the description of the Hickok 45 and Son videos. And speaking of that, don't forget to check out the description of the Hickok 45 videos for any information about meet and greets and all that kind of stuff. Also, don't forget to check us out on Full 30. And if you've done all of that, all of those things, if you've completed all of that, then the only thing left to do is to watch a bunch more Hickok 45 videos. So I'll leave you to it, and I'm going to finish painting these targets.